Imagine this. A young boy's life hangs by a thread, and the only person who can save him is the one man his father just arrested. Officer Ryan, a dedicated white cop, believes he's doing the right thing when he handcuffs Dr. Marcus Bell, a black scientist, during a routine stop. But as Ryan processes the arrest, an emergency call changes everything. His son, battling a rare and deadly illness, is deteriorating fast, and the breakthrough treatment the boy needs was developed by none other than the man in his custody. Now Ryan must grapple with his biases and the very real possibility that his actions could cost his son's life. Can two men from worlds so far apart work together in time to save a child? Or will mistrust and prejudice be their undoing? Stay tuned as this gripping story unfolds. Dr. Marcus Bell sits in the back of the squad car, his hands cuffed, his mind racing. He doesn't understand why this is happening, why his morning, meant for life-saving research, has been derailed by flashing lights and accusations. Meanwhile, Officer Ryan grips the steering wheel tightly, the weight of the emergency call pressing down on him. His son, Ethan, was stable this morning. How could things have taken such a sudden turn? Ryan glances in the rearview mirror, his eyes meeting Marcus's. There's tension, confusion, and something else. A flicker of desperation. Marcus notices it too, but stays silent. Then Ryan's radio crackles, and a colleague's voice delivers another update about Ethan's condition. Marcus listens closely, his scientific mind piecing together the details. He knows what's happening to the boy, and he knows he's the only one who can help. But how can he convince a man who doesn't trust him? The car speeds through the streets, but the silence between them feels louder than the siren. Marcus finally speaks, his voice calm but firm. "Officer, I heard the call. Your son has a condition I've been researching for years. I know how to help him." Ryan glances back sharply, skepticism matched across his face. "You think I'm just going to trust you? After what just happened?" Marcus doesn't flinch. "I'm not asking for trust. I'm asking for a chance. Your son doesn't have time for this." The tension is palpable. Ryan wants to dismiss him, to believe this is some kind of manipulation, but the fear for his son gnaws at him. As they pull up to the hospital, Ryan hesitates. Marcus, still in handcuffs, watches the chaos unfold. Doctors rushing, Ryan's wife crying in the lobby. He knows he has the answer, but will Ryan let him prove it? Inside the hospital, the air is thick with urgency. Ryan's wife rushes to him, her face pale, her words barely holding together. "Ethan's getting worse," she whispers. Ryan's chest tightens as he glances back at Marcus, who remains calm despite the chaos. "You're wasting precious time," Marcus says firmly. "I know what's happening to your son, but I can't help him from here." Ryan's instincts scream to keep control, to stay cautious, but he's running out of options. A doctor approaches, explaining that Ethan's condition is deteriorating faster than expected. They've tried everything they can, but the boy's body isn't responding. Ryan's heart pounds as he watches his son through the glass, hooked up to machines, fighting for every breath. Marcus leans forward. "You're at a crossroads, officer. I spent my life preparing for this moment, and your son's life depends on whether you can let me do what I do best." Ryan stands frozen, torn between fear and hope. The doctor's voice pulls him back. "We've reviewed the research Dr. Bell mentioned," she says, holding a folder tightly. "He's right. His work is groundbreaking, but experimental. It's risky." Ryan's wife looks at Marcus, her desperation overriding any hesitation. "What kind of risk?" she asks, her voice trembling. Marcus meets her gaze. "There's no guarantee it'll work. But without it," he doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't need to. Before Ryan can respond, a nurse rushes in. "Ethan's crashing." The room erupts into chaos, alarms blaring, doctors rushing toward the boy. Ryan's wife grabs his arm, her tear-filled eyes pleading. "We don't have time to argue, Ryan." But just as Marcus steps forward, two hospital security guards appear, summoned by protocol. "Sir, we can't allow an unauthorized individual in the ICU." Ryan must make a decision, trust Marcus or risk losing everything. Ryan takes a deep breath, the chaos around him blurring as he makes his choice. "Let him in," he said sharply to the guards. "Uncuff him." The hesitation is brief but heavy before they comply. Marcus rubs his wrists, already focusing on the task ahead. "Get me to your son now," he says. Inside the ICU, Ethan's small body struggles against the machines keeping him alive. Marcus moves quickly, directing the medical team with precision. "I need a specific enzyme from the lab. Page Dr. Collins, she's familiar with my work," he says. Ryan watches from the corner, his hands clenched, unsure if he's done the right thing. As Marcus prepares the treatment, the unexpected happens. A sudden power surge disrupts the equipment. Panic spreads, but Marcus stays calm. "I can stabilize him manually," he says, grabbing a portable device from his bag. Ryan, shaken, realizes this man not only came prepared, but may have been their only chance all along. Minutes feel like hours as Marcus administers the treatment. Finally, Ethan's vitals begin to stabilize. Relief floods the room, but just as hope takes hold, Marcus falters, leaning against the wall. "What's wrong?" Ryan asks. Marcus gives a faint smile. "Exposure to one of the compounds. I've been pushing through," but his voice trails off as he collapses, leaving everyone stunned. Ryan realizes Marcus risked not just his freedom, but his life to save Ethan. And now the debt can never truly be repaid. Hours later, the hospital quiets. Ethan sleeps peacefully, his color returning, his breathing steady. Ryan stands at his bedside, overwhelmed with gratitude and guilt. He glances toward the adjacent room, where Marcus rests, hooked up to monitors. The doctor had assured them Marcus would recover, but his sacrifice weighs heavily on Ryan. Ryan walks into Marcus's room, unsure of what to say. "I owe you everything," he finally manages, his voice thick with emotion. Marcus, weak but alert, offers a small smile. "You owe your son the chance to grow up in a world that's better than this," he replies. The words hit harder than any lecture could. As Ryan leaves the hospital, he feels the weight of the day shift into purpose. He knows there's more work to be done, bridges to build, lessons to learn. But for now, his son is alive, and it's because a stranger chose compassion over resentment.